Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Redmen TV. My name is Dan Klopp. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by former Liverpool goalkeeper Sander Westerveld. Sander, how are you doing, mate? You okay?
Good morning. Yeah, perfect. All the pressure's off. We're having a holiday now.
Yeah, don't blame me. I know.
Season's over.
Yeah, I know you feel. Yeah, stress-free time. Got 2 weeks to relax, and then the Euro starts, and off we go again, basically. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
here to talk about Arne Slot, of course, confirmed as Liverpool's new head coach. He also will start work, I think it's the 1st of June officially. Somebody you know very well. You played with him at Sparta, Rotterdam previously. I believe you also played golf with him on a regular basis. So to begin with, before we dive into the football and the managerial things, I wanted to ask you just what do you like as a person, away from the tactics, away from actually the football side? How is he? What is he like? What's his personality?
Well, that's why I think he will be a perfect fit for Liverpool. Is the fact that if you talk about all the good things about Jürgen and his personality and the way he is as a person, and he inflicts or he reflects that on his team. I think it's like a mirror for from Arne Slot. He's almost the same personality wise. He's an honest guy, bubbly personality, always in for a laugh. But on the pitch, I think one of the best things he does is gives you a good balance in the team. He knows when to have a laugh at the training pitch, even during games. I think it's for fans. It's funny to see how he reacts on if you Google Anthony and Slot. I think it's been said the last couple of days. You have to see that thing that Anthony is well doing shithousery around the side of the pitch, and I think 9 of 10 coaches would go mental. And he just laughs at it. And that's how he is. So he knows what's important also in life. That's important as well for Liverpool coach, Liverpool manager. It's not only football. It's more than that. And there's more than it's fans. It's the way of life at Liverpool. It means so much more. Yeah, he's got all the assets of being whatever needed as a Liverpool coach. So honest guy, takes everything out of the team, overperforms, gets all the full potential out of his players, and personality wise, yeah, brilliant. Knows how to handle pressure, and I can talk for hours, but it looks like I'm talking about Jürgen Klopp, which says enough. So if you talk about Jürgen Klopp, Arne Slot in a couple of years, hopefully he will stay for long. They will put him next to Jürgen Klopp and say he was almost exactly the same.
Yeah, let's hope so. That'll do for me, most definitely. We obviously all adored Jurgen Klopp, and he brought into the city the culture, not just the football side of things. So if Slot can tap into a little bit of that would be incredible. You were together at Sparta Rotterdam, as I mentioned. Could you tell, obviously, from sort of sharing the dressing room with him, sharing the training pitch with him, obviously sharing the pitch with him, could you tell he was destined to become a manager? Was he already thinking like that?
Yeah, those are questions that I've been asked a lot. Also about players, like I played with Stevie G when he just came up through the ranks, and Carragher and Xabi Alonso at Real Sociedad. Could I see it then that they would become the one of the best players in the world? Maybe. Not really. They were great players, but you can never see how their careers go. And but sometimes with coaches, you can at least say there will be coaches. So in the national team, you had Frank de Boer, you had Jaap Stam, you had Philip Cocu, Mark van Bommel. You could see, okay, those guys are becoming coaches, and you never know how good they become. With Arne, it's the same. He was my captain, and he was the one that spoke out during halftime talks, and he would have discussions with coaches about tactical things, which probably says enough. I was just sitting there waiting for the coach to tell me what to do, and most of the players as well. And he was always questioning the coaches. And obviously throughout his career, when he started at Cambuur, when he took over as an assistant coach, took over the first team, and you could see how he straight away started to improve teams. Mm-hmm. Then he went to AZ and he overperformed again with a team that was already there. That was probably the first signs where you could see, okay, this is a different coach than normal. And of course, the last couple of years when he came into Feyenoord, even when he made that transfer to Feyenoord, people in Holland said AZ was a better team at that moment. And you got all the assets there, and it's a healthy club financially. You go to Feyenoord, it's a mess. Your best players are leaving. His captain went to Ajax, and he said it straight away. He says, "No, with these players, I'm fine." He wasn't allowed to do any spending. He didn't buy any good players or big players. And like I said, he's overperforming with his team. He gets the full potential out of the players. And that's what he did, I think, everywhere he went. And if he can do that now at Liverpool, then it will be a big success, because at the moment we have all the potential for a top team.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the squad. I'll come on to that in a moment. Before we do, just in terms of his style of play, you probably answered this before, but I think a lot of people are sort of suggesting it'll be quite attacking. He obviously front foot style. He wants to dominate possession, but he also wants to make teams pay as well. Is that fair?
Yeah. And it's been said enough now. I think all the journalists are out, all the Dutch ones have been on television and talking about his tactical style. What's funny is that he thinks details are very important with him, and I always say that details can win you games, and that's why he's always into details, and he's a data analyst as well. Like, he's analyzing teams to the fullest, which is really funny, because we got Michael Edwards back at the club, which I think for him is the biggest signing of the season for Slot, to have Michael back at the club. Funny enough, Michael Edwards was my analyst when I played for Portsmouth, and then Richard Hughes is back now, and he was my colleague. He was my I think he was a captain in a couple of the games as well at Portsmouth. So they're all back, but Michael Edwards is a guy that really pays attention to data and details, and we all know the fact that Jürgen wanted Julian Brandt. When he came, and then Michael Edwards stopped it and said, "No, you get Salah instead." And well, we all know what happened, and that's hopefully exactly what's going to happen now as well. And Slot, like I said, he's well known for taking full potential out of players. And if you see the squad now, we already have with the youngsters as well. And imagine Bradley, Kwanzaa, all the youngsters that made debuts, like Elliott and Jones. Nunez is still young. Gravenberg, who still has a lot of potential, and still you can see some potential there this season, but not fully yet. Even Gakpo and Szoboszlai is still young. So I think he's perfect. He's a perfect coach to get all the potential out of those players. And imagine if they are all playing a little bit better than this season, then we're fighting for the title again next season.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, I was going to ask you actually about working with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes and whether it would suit him, that data approach, but you've answered that there. Of course, it obviously will. Yeah. It feels like it's very much sort of in line with the way he sees football as well, which is nice to have them philosophies.
I think it was in 2008, I think somewhere there. And they were all starting, all the data analysts and there's Moneyball people, they're all starting, and we were like new. And we were like, most of the times my team meetings were like, okay, you're going to watch the first half of the opponent and then see how they play. But now Michael was really ahead of time already then. And we were sitting, and sometimes we had meetings and he would explain things, and we were just watching with eyes open, like, wow. And all those details and the style of play, what we could expect, exactly what Slot does as well. He shows not only games, but he shows clips of, for example, at Feyenoord, he showed clips of Atletico Madrid. They were defending very deep, and then you could see he was showing clips from Liverpool to attack those deep defenses. And with the wingbacks, they were under pressure all the time at Atletico Madrid. The wingbacks were still available to give an assist for a goal. So he made the players realize that even though you're defending really deep, or you're attacking against teams that defend deep, you can still attack and pressure. And so those are really, I always said this season as well, that Jürgen is a coach that in halftime we play really bad. And every time I say, okay, we're losing 1-0, but please, okay, keep it 1-0, losing 1-0. We don't need to score the 1-1 before halftime. Just keep it, losing 1-0 is okay, because I know at halftime, Jürgen's going to change a couple of things tactically, and then the second half is totally different. And that's exactly what Slot does as well. So sometimes they're attacking, and it's bad to watch. It's like, oh man, this game is going nowhere. And suddenly he puts a couple of players in, or he gives a note to somebody, or he changes if he has the time at halftime. And suddenly you see a different team, and that's exactly what you need at the highest level. Those are coaches like Guardiola, Ancelotti, and Jürgen did in the last couple of years, and hopefully, he will continue doing that Slot at Liverpool as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. You mentioned a few of the players a moment ago in terms of who could improve, who maybe could get even more out of. Is there anyone in particular you look at this current Liverpool squad and think Arne is going to relish working with him? Obviously, Darwin Núñez might fall into that category because he's got the best out of centre forwards who are similar in terms of their style. Yes. Do you think he could look at Darwin and go, I can work with you?
Yeah, and it's a bit silly to say all the time. Like you fall into, you're repeating yourself all the time. Talk about Slot and the comparison with Jürgen or with Liverpool and Feyenoord. Slot had players and bought players that nobody knew of, like Jimenez, the striker, and he turned them into the goal scorer of the season last year. So with Núñez and seeing all the potential there, I think it was a couple of weeks before the end of the season, some fans were showing highlights of his Benfica time. And if you could see the play he is, and still, if you see the highlights at Liverpool, the goals he scored and the chaos what Liverpool creates with his pace and running into the pockets. I think if you get that goal scoring, that Robbie Fowler, put a little bit of Robbie Fowler in Núñez, if Slot is capable of doing that, then you have another goal scorer of the Premier League goal scorer, I think. And I think also like a player like Szoboszlai, Dominic started really from the first minute. I was really excited. He played really well, and then he slowed down. He went down a little bit in quality and consistency. I think if he can get Dominic to keep that consistent level like he had in the first couple of months, then he can be a very important player. The same goes for Gakpo and Gravenberch, of course. And defenders like Bradley and Quanta already proved themselves to be good. But they're young players. They need to be consistent. And he needs to work with them to keep that consistency.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and I think if you can get the best out of even just a few of them, we'll be onto something good next season. One thing I did want to ask you about is following a manager like Jürgen Klopp is obviously very, very difficult, but it's something that Arne Slot seems to be relishing. He seems excited by it. He looks like he's looking forward to the challenge of that. Is that just how he is as a person? He clearly backs himself, and not in a bad way. He hasn't got an ego or anything, but he just thinks, yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm a good enough head coach. I'm a good enough manager to follow someone like Klopp.
Yeah, but I also think that you realize that this is not a club like Man United after Ferguson left. They were on the decline. The big players left Man United, and then Ferguson said, okay, I'm off. Then David Moyes took over, but he had to create a totally new squad, a totally new team, and that takes time. And you don't get time at big clubs. And so this is not like Jürgen Klopp got fired because the team is not doing well. New coach comes in, has to bring a couple of players to get the team going again. This is a team that Jürgen left. It's like, that's why I'm happy with Slot, but I would have loved Jürgen continue for at least one more year, seeing all the potential in the squad we have now. But saying that, I think Slot comes in a team where I don't even really know or think you need a lot of players. Maybe you need a striker, a different striker than you have. Maybe like a guy who can head the ball. Maybe you have a different style. Maybe you can play long balls. But we have the defenders, we have the midfielders, we have the strikers. You can add something to the squad, but everything is there for Slot at the moment. All the potential is there. The young team, young players who can only get better. And what also I think is not been mentioned yet. So finally, I got some different things to say than all the other pundits and people can say, is that Jürgen Klopp is now a fan and he's not a coach. So Jürgen is not going somewhere else to coach. Jürgen is a fan, which means I hope he keeps his house in Liverpool. I think he's still in Stevie G's house. So I hope he comes and visits, which also means that he can help Arne. So he can sit with him for hours and for weeks and for days and go out for meals and to really explain Arne what's really needed as a Liverpool coach, and it can help him in all the different. It's like we have Jürgen still at the club, which I think it's vital for Arne. So I hope Jürgen will be a sort of assistant coach of Arne next season, which I think is really important.
Yeah, he couldn't have so much better help, could he? In terms of starts
so
to life,
still there.
Yeah. In terms of starts to life at Liverpool, I think the backing of Jürgen Klopp, even at the weekend when he started singing that song, I think Arne Slot's got a sort of a step up in terms of how he's viewed upon. Just finally, you've obviously described him as the perfect fit for Liverpool. I want you to sort of just sum up, if you can, why that is. Is it his communication skills? Is it just his tactics? And of course, therefore, I guess you're backing him to be a success as well.
Yeah, I think everywhere he went, his personality, his leadership styles, his tactical flexibility, what I just mentioned, is he can change games by changing something tactically. His attitude towards younger players, like I said, his ability to get the full potential out of players. He's down to earth. He's good with the press. He's not like a Mourinho guy in the press or like a Louis van Gaal who gets angry in the press. He laughs about everything. He's respectful, which is really important for me as well. I think it suits Liverpool. Like a guy like Mourinho, who will never fit a Liverpool team, I think, in the way he is, his personality is. So everything about him. The only thing is that I can't talk about is the way he handles pressure, because wherever he went, everything went well. He wasn't, I think, too much under pressure anywhere. And of course, this is the Premier League and the whole world is watching. So you need to cope with that pressure. But then again, if he can just do whatever he normally does on the training pitch and during games, he should be all right. And everybody's saying like, yeah, but these defenses in England are harder to break than the Dutch ones. True, but he's got better players to break them down. So that's also true. So I think he everything he wants for his players, he's got the best players in the world for that. So everything, the way he wants to play, if he wants to play like, okay, you pass the ball over 50 meters on the left foot of the player, so he can run straight to. He's got players to do that, and then. In Holland, probably it was difficult to give that 50-meter pass on the left foot. So here, everything he wants, he can just make happen. And personality-wise, like I said a couple of times before, he's a likable. Even when he loses golf against me, he still maintains friendly. And
you have to get that in there.
I don't think he ever lost against me, by the way.
You're good at golf as well, then.
That's a good thing as well, because Jürgen didn't play golf.
No. Paddle tennis.
He plays golf, which is a good thing.
Yeah, they all play
so
paddle.
He relaxes off the pitch.
Yeah, they all play the paddle now. Sander, pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you very much. Everybody else, I'll see and speak to you again very soon. Take it easy.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the content today. If you want to get your name in and amongst these wonderful people, then head to redmenplus.com. Join as a Legend tier subscriber. You're going to get free merchandise codes. You're going to get in our Discord, and you're going to get your name at the end of YouTube videos. Yes, redmenplus.com, Legend tier status.